Hi, everybody, and welcome to your humanities class, Critical Thinking. I'm really excited to get started, and I wanted to go ahead and walk you through getting started on the beginning of the class. So I do the walkthrough a little bit differently. You may have seen other instructors that directly show you how to walk through by having screenshots. I prefer that you just follow along with my voice and click on the links yourself. That way you're fully engaged in the walkthrough and you can remember where to go back to find things. I know at the beginning of a course, there's a lot of material. It can be very overwhelming. And I often find, even when I'm taking a class, that I'm like, I know I've seen that somewhere before, but I can't remember where. So hopefully walking through the video as I'm speaking will help you to get rid of some of those problems. So the first thing I'll have you do is click on the Modules tab on the left-hand menu bar. And once you get there, you're going to see all of the modules. You should begin with the course introduction section, which has my instructor information, how you can get a hold of me, what times I'm available, and when I'm in the classroom. You'll look at some course essentials, the syllabus is there, the help and support that you may need in case of technical difficulties or other challenging problems that come up. This is all in the course introduction section. You'll notice there's some rubrics. As an Excelsior instructor, I am bound by contract to follow the grading rubric. So you'll want to make sure that every time we have an assignment, you're using that rubric as a checklist to make sure you've included everything in your assignment. And that way you'll be as successful as you can in the course. I'm really here to help you to be successful, so don't feel shy about reaching out to me and asking me questions as we go along. You'll also notice in the orientation instruction that there's a Getting Started with McGraw-Hill Connect. And this is the information that you need to set up your McGraw-Hill Connect account and where you'll be accessing the textbook and information that we'll be using in the course. It's very important that you access the textbook and that you demonstrate your mastery of the material we're using in the course. So you will be, quoting and paraphrasing often and discussing the material, and that will help you to do the best on your assignments and get an A in the course. So keep scrolling down and you'll notice there's an academic integrity agreement. So you will need to submit this before you're able to go on to Module 1. So make sure to do that first. And once you've done that, scroll down to Module 1 and you'll see that we have our Introduction to Critical Thinking. So when you get here, the first thing you'll do is click on that Module 1 Learning Pathway. You always want to refer back to the learning pathway to find out what we're going to be doing during the week, when things are due, and what you're going to be putting together. So in Module 1, you'll basically, it is as it says, you're going to get an introduction to critical thinking. So we're going to be studying critical thinking. The text is going to define critical thinking as mental skills that we use every day for our intelligent and personal development. So we are really trying to learn to become better thinkers. So essentially, you can think and you can think very sloppily, or you can think and you can think well. So we're working on those skills that help you to think well in all situations, regardless of whether or not it's in school, your relationships, your career. This course will help you hit those benchmarks and be a better thinker. So if you scroll down, you'll notice the order of things for this week. First, you'll have the introduction, and you'll be submitting that. Now, I like to reply to everybody's introduction, so you'll definitely get a reply from me. And then for other weeks, I reply alternately to people in the classroom. So if you don't hear from me one week, you'll definitely hear from me the next week. If you post very late on a discussion, I may not have the opportunity to respond to you. So please make sure that you're posting those discussions on time so that I can fully engage with your posts. You'll notice there are some required readings. And then you'll notice there's some module notes, an introduction to critical thinking. There's no submission for that. Then the next thing is the module 1.3 evaluate, where you're going to be discussing cognitive development, and your initial post for that is due on Thursday, and your replies to your classmates would be due by Sunday. And in module 1.4, you'll also notice in the discussions of our shades of gray, your initial post is due on Thursday with replies to your classmates due by Sunday. So then if you see module 1.5, it says instructions for SmartBook videos and quiz, and that will be due by Sunday. So that just gives you a little brief overview of what we'll be covering in module 1. So you should keep scrolling down now until you see the next button at the bottom of the right-hand corner. Go ahead and click on the next button. And that'll take you to the introductions that I mentioned. You'll see here I've already posted my introduction. You can find this little bio of me in 3 places. I posted it as an announcement. It's in the course orientation section under Meet Your Facilitator. And then I posted it here for you to also view. Hopefully you'll enjoy reading through my little bio or listening, watching my bio. And I can't wait to see what you have to say about yourself, your experience, and all the things that bring you to where you are in your life. So the next thing that you will be doing after you complete that introduction, click the next button and you'll move on to the required readings. And so there are some required readings that are in the module notes. You'll notice there's a link, highlights of cognitive development in college students. So you'll click on that link, and then also the Judith Boss chapter 1 that we're going to be reading. So if you scroll down, you can view some video files that will familiarize you with the topics that we're covering. And you should do all of this before you make your first post, just to make sure that you're well informed and you can include the knowledge that you're learning in all of your posts and assignments. Click on the next button, and that's going to bring you to the required SmartBook videos. You'll notice that you need to load those SmartBook videos, and they will load in a new browser for you. That's something that you can do after you finish watching my video. So click the next button, and you'll see the module notes that I referenced, the introduction to critical thinking, chapter highlights, and this kind of gives you a little summary. And you can use these questions to make a journal entry. Maybe keep a journal throughout this class so that you can make some notes on what you're learning. And it's also a way of arranging your thoughts that you want to include later on in some discussions. And you can do your citing in here. Each discussion post, you'll probably be citing some material. And so as you read, I encourage you to open up a Word document, make some notes, write down the places that you found the information, and then later you can go back and use that information in your discussions and assignments. That's how I structure any classes that I take for myself, graduate work that I've done, and I found it to be a very useful technique to make sure that I have really, understood the material and that I'm incorporating it into my learning. So click the next button, and you'll see that discussion that we'll be having on cognitive development. And so the purpose of this activity will be to discuss the cognitive development stages of critical thinking. I think you're going to find this one really interesting. You'll notice that it's presented in highlights, so you'll click on that link. And it's going to be an integral component of your 4-part project for this class. So this is a great time to start brainstorming about that. And you'll be answering one of the following questions in your discussion, but you may just want to answer the other ones in a journal for yourself so that you can really do some good reflection. Scroll down and hit the next button. And you'll see that other discussion I mentioned called Shades of Gray. So in this reading, you're going to be learning what it means to be well-informed. You're going to be learning about staying open-minded and other habits of mind that you want to develop, flexibility, alternative perspectives. These will all be good things for you to adapt into your life to further your academic goals, your career goals, and it actually works in relationships too, I've found. So again, you'll be selecting one of the following questions, but go ahead and journal about the other ones to get to know yourself better and just dive deeper into what we're studying. Go ahead and click the next button and you'll see that these are the instructions for the Smart Book quiz for Chapter 1. And this goes over again what you need to know about our textbook and how you're going to be connecting to that. It's not a hardbound book that you will receive in the mail. Everything is online, so you'll need to set up your account in order to access the book and take your quiz. So click on the next button and you'll see it opens Chapter 1, which you will be able to load once you have set everything up. After that, you will be pretty much completed with Module 1. And I look forward to our first set of discussions and how you work with the material, what you find interesting, and maybe what you don't think works very well. I really enjoy input and different perspectives, so don't be shy about sharing everything that you learn during this first module. Have a great week, everybody.